Okay, factorise x squared minus 11x plus 24. So going back to previous videos on this where we had to factorise, remember we're looking for factors. And when you look here at this expression, it's what we call a quadratic expression. So we've got an x squared in there, right? But there's 3 terms in here, and actually there's no common factors, because you know you're looking at that and there's like an x squared and an x. So you might think x is a common factor, but there's no x here. So what we end up getting here then is a double bracket. Okay, so it's like when we expanded the double brackets before, we ended up with something looking like this. So now when we've got to factorize, we reverse the process. And what I do here, because it's x there, right? Because it's x squared rather, I'm just going to write x in each bracket. Okay, that's what I do there. And you'd actually get x squared, wouldn't you? By timesing them out. And if you remember then with this process, the number at the end is 24. So we need to come up with pairs of numbers then, so I can write here, so that they will times to give that 24 at the end. So if we think of the pairs that times to give 24, 1 times 24, 2 times 12, 3 times 8, 4 times 6. Okay, so there's lots of pairs there, but the pair that we need is needed so that we can get it to add up to give minus 11x. Okay, so when I'm looking at these pairings here, the 3 and the 8 is standing out to me because I can get them to add up to 11, yeah? But I do want them to add up to minus 11x. That's important, right? It's got to add up to minus 11. So actually, in this case, I'm going to need to make them both negative. Okay? So if I make them both negative, they will both add up to give minus 11. And then, just as importantly then, when I times them, they'll still give me positive, because I need it to be positive 24. And if you times a minus by a minus, remember it gives us positive. So the two numbers are minus 3, minus 8. And you can then, if you want to expand it to check, just make sure you write check there, so the examiner knows that you're just checking it to see if it actually expands to give you this.